Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence. I'm Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today, I've given it the title of A Country Day. Not the greatest title, but it'll do. It'll do. Um, yeah, several challenges on this painting. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with it. There's some issues that were really built into the reference. The thing that the issues that kept me from painting this for a while. First of all, like kind of where you see that horizon line with those hills there. In the reference, there's just a fence there. And I'm usually not that big on just bunches of grass in the corner that are straight grass. I think I navigated it pretty well. Who knows, down the road I may have some sort of epiphany. As it is, it ended up looking kind of like we were on a slight little hill looking sort of down on a field. So I think that works. And you kind of get that impression as well from the rounded hill in the background. And if you think about it, I have like all of these sort of rounded shapes working together. The rounded shape of the grass in the front, the rounded shape of the hill in the back, and then the rounded shape of the tree forms that are basically the subject of the painting. And the overall effect is, I think it works. It's different, I guess I'll say, and most of my paintings are sort of different. And but like I say, I think it succeeds. Now, you know what? I mean, I painted this yesterday, and for a minute there, you'll see that we're just missing a tiny bit of painting on that road. But I thought for some reason I'd forgot to paint the sky, which is one of the main things I wanted to communicate. And that would be in the live version of this. So what you're looking at now is a sped up version of the live painting session where I'm just talking over the top. In the live session, I'm kind of giving you a blow by blow as we're going and explaining a bit about my process and things that I'm trying to do. And that video would contain a little, a bit of the reference so you can kind of see what I was challenged by, and also my color mixing. And so I have a brief for this painting. You should basically, if you're a painter starting out, you're looking for some tips, I recommend you have some kind of brief, and it doesn't need to be anything fancy. Like here, my brief was very simple. I don't want to go real spectacular colors. I just wanted blue and green. Sorry, a little sniffle there. I sneezed before I started recording, but I tried to take care of it, but sorry. Anyway, that was my brief. Well, also the brief was, sort of deal with that challenge of the fence that was right in the way. There was the way it was. There was no way to get rid of it in Photoshop. There was no way to actually stick in another little scene back there or anything, which would be possible, really. But I really liked that tree, or those trees, and I thought, just go for it. The other brief was I wanted to do an 8x8 because I haven't done one for a long time, and I have a bunch of frames. So there you go, blue sky, regular day. Now, so one of the things that when I was saying I was a bit bummed when I thought I hadn't recorded the painting of the sky, is that I feel like that live session really imparts pretty well my whole approach to painting blue skies with white clouds. And it's not something you see me do a lot, but I definitely have a strategy for pulling it off, and that's thoroughly imparted there. I can give you a few tips and pointers right here, though, because it's not all about making you join the members area. I'm just here to share. The members area has the live videos, and a lot of people don't really even have patience for that anyway. Although you'll see the video previous to this one I released was just a live video for everybody to check out. Anyway, couple of my strategies. One is, I start with the blue. Now you can have a lot of blues in your palette. It's really, I think it's pretty okay, unless you're doing strictly blue painting, to have one blue in your palette. My choice is phthalo blue. I used to have cobalt blue and phthalo blue. which are different. Cobalt's a bit warmer and Phthalo's a little cooler, but Phthalo's quite flexible and a fairly slow dryer, as is Cobalt on the palette. So this was mixed with Phthalo blue, and the thing is, when you're mixing your blues, here's a tip for you. See that blue I'm laying in now? I always knock it back with, of course you know how phthalo is. It's really dark, and then you add some white, and you can see how blue it really is. But that blue is really screamy and fake, like the kind of blue you might see when you were, using crayons when you were a kid or something like that. So, a couple things I'll do is usually I'll just throw in some raw umber to make it feel more natural. And raw umber is good because it's not like super strong, but it'll give it a little bit of an earthy quality, which feels natural, and you want to do that with most of the pigments coming out of your tubes of paint because they all tend to be a bit too chromatic, too bright, and this can be frustrating for a lot of people starting out. So I always use a principle I call color killing, which is here I wanted to kill the blues, so I added a bit of raw umber, and I wanted to kill it in a warm way, and then I mixed the gray, and my gray I wanted quite warm as well too. So there I started with like just a gray. I call it Mike's gray all the time. It's just I don't own a copyright on Mike's gray, but it's titanium white mixed with ivory black. It gives you a basic middle gray, and there I just chucked in a bunch of raw umber there as well, and in some cases maybe brought in a little of raw sienna too. Um, and you can see in the painting itself, it doesn't look overly warm, but it does look warm. And one of my big tricks, I'm going to give this to you because I like you, and you've gotten up to the. You've been with me for 6 minutes now. So when you mix that gray, okay, you try and shoot for a value that's pretty close to the sky, and that way when you start popping it in the sky, you'll see it'll just fall right in and feel very natural. It'll give you that feeling of water vapor and air, and that's really what you need in the sky. As far as the white goes, that's almost always more of a cream. Now you could do a painting where it was very cool, but that doesn't tend to work. You really want to warm it up, so might start with a little yellow ochre. One of the main reasons I have the yellow ochre on my palette is just for skies and things. It's a yellow that you can put in the sky that, it'll go a little green, but it doesn't go as green as, say, the cad yellow would. If you're going to use cad yellow in its place, you're going to have to step on it quite a lot and adulterate it to get rid of that sort of green quality that's kind of built into the cad yellow. Anyway, I'll mix that up, and raw umber, yellow ochre, white, and then flavor to taste with this and that. Maybe a little raw sienna, maybe a little gray. Little Mike's gray. Never know. Anyway, that's some tips for you on blue skies, white fluffy clouds. Oh yeah, well, let's give you some more tips. This is the other thing. You don't ever want your clouds to feel stiff because like you're really sweating delineating that shape. Well, that shape was changing, rapidly as it moved across the sky anyway. You need to keep that in mind. And you're better off just making a fresh statement and moving on. The more that you sit there and tweak on those clouds, the more you try to perfect them, the worse they'll get. You maybe have run into this already, but you might not be aware that. You might just have thought it was some failure with yourself or your painting ability, but really that's not the case. In most cases, you could probably do some pretty nice clouds if you just slap some paint down. So slap it down. But yeah, start with the blue, and you can see I've just all done it for you right in this painting here. And then work in some grays that are relatively similar in value, and that takes care of a lot of your edges. And of course, when you try and put a bright white edge over, and you want it to be soft over something that's dark, you're going to struggle. That's one of the reasons for having the gray as an intermediary. And you can see in this painting I brought the white over sometimes or under, and I don't sweat that stuff. I just leave it expressive. And that's what gets the feeling of clouds and water vapor across, and that's the only way I know to do it. You could do it in another way where you're super meticulous and you're working things out, but you'd be on a different path than me. So, um, you know, I'm sure it's possible. Almost anything's possible. Getting into the trees, I'm just doing my tree thing. And this painting, I did chuck quite a lot of. I'm chucking. I'm slapping. uh, Into the dark green is basically just ivory black and acrylamide yellow, which would be like Hansa yellow from Gamlin. Or if you're buying a cadmium yellow hue from anybody, it's that acrylide yellow. And it tends to be cheaper than the cad. Interestingly, though, the color I keep on my palette for my regular painting is the cad yellow, but I use the acrylide yellow to make my base green color. In this case, the pyrite mix was a bit dark, so I didn't change it much. I did throw in a little bit of alizarin crimson, and that's just sort of the same principle as the sky. You need to have some complexity in your color. You don't, in a sense, you do want muddy color, but using that terminology isn't optimal, I don't think, because it gives you the wrong idea. You want beautiful color. And when I say something like muddy color, you go, oh, like that doesn't sound nice. You want beautiful color, but if your colors are too pure, too chromatic, your paintings look fake. So it's in the greens. It's really a matter of adding a bunch of the complementary to green, which is red. But you want to do those earthy reds. Although sometimes cadmium red can really work great as well. I didn't throw. I wanted this painting to be like reality tends to look midday. You see green, you see blue, you see gray, you see brown. That's that's it. You're not seeing like all these flashy twilight colors like purples and oranges and reds, which is really more my favorite thing to do. And if I was going to paint this scene that way, I would have probably worked with it a bit in Photoshop. But one of my briefs was, like I said, just to do a regular daylight looking painting because I haven't done one for a while. And, I know how. So I did it. And also, now this scene was from one of my travels, and my wife she thought, oh, New Zealand. That's obviously New Zealand, but I don't think it is. I won't mention which country it is, though, because I kept it sort of vague here. But I don't think it might be New Zealand. I don't think it is, though. I don't think so. I'm not sure, though. Anyway, that's the kind of thing that matters to a lot of people that tend to buy my paintings. Where was this? But it doesn't matter to me at all, because what I'm painting is tree, sky, feelings. I'm actually real happy with the way this turned out, and I guess we're giving you kind of comprehensive blow by blow. We talked a bit about the trees. Well, not that. I'll get more into some tree theory with you later, but I will say if you pay attention, it's in every painting I do, the same approach over and over. So if you think my trees are good, it's because they're built up from dark to light, right? And they're kept simple and expressive, sort of the same thing as the I was telling you with the clouds. You start getting all meticulous and getting all tight, you're just going to produce that kind of painting, and it's not going to be that comfortable for people to look at. Your mom, however, will love it. She'll love everything you do. So if you want to get a big boost, you can go to mom. We got just a minute left. Let's talk about the grasses. So challenge with this types of grasses is straight, 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 straight. And in a lot of cases, it's not my preference to do this kind of grass. I would rather do big masses of patchy shapes with a few strokes. But I'm getting better at this sort of approach. And you'll see at one point, like right now, it's looking very strokey. And then you'll see me just wipe it with a paper towel. And again, in the live session, you might go, whoa, that looked nice, Mike. Why'd you do that? And it was just needed to be merged a little. And then I popped a few strokes over the top of the kind of smeared or merged painting passage just to get out of that stroke, stroke, stroke mode. And when I look at some of my older stuff and I look how I've handled those bits of grass, and trust me, I've sold those paintings, a lot of them. I always think, too strokey, too strokey. So I was trying to work that out. I think I did a pretty good job in the back where actually I thought I had it looking pretty good, and then maybe a little too strokey. So anyway, oh, why did I go back? Yeah, I was signing off, and then I realized those little tree shapes in the back were too dark. I just set that in there to kind of break up that hill shape a little, but it was too dark for the distance, so we just put a little bit of green in there and just kind of, and you know, if you look at it closely, you can't really see what the heck's going on there. It doesn't matter. We can assume it's trees because we're all used to looking at nature. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I'll be back real soon with another video. Um, Appreciate you checking this one out and spending 15 minutes with me. Check out the live area or go to my website. Go buy a painting. Help support this artist because I make paintings. It's great to sell them on. Yeah. Anyway, all that said, do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Be patient with people that have views divergent from your own. Stay out of trouble, and God bless you.